So we're going to go ahead and get started. Today we are going to need 2 blocks, a blanket, and possibly a strap. And we are going to start standing. And so once you find yourself standing, we're going to take an opportunity to just go ahead and move our strap off your blanket. That's also going to be moved off. And then the blocks, we're going to put them at their highest setting, maybe about 6 inches from either end. And so since most of the practice is going to be long ways, if you want to move your camera computer where it's long ways so that's easier for you to see, that's great. Otherwise, you could just leave it where it is. Here we go. And then you're going to turn to face the long edge of your mat. Your blocks will be approximately behind you, and you'll stand with your feet about hip distance apart. And I'm going to make sure everyone is muted. Cool. And so once you stand about in the middle of your mat, feet hip distance apart, I want you to go ahead to walk your feet in closer together, Barbara. There you go. I want you to go ahead and start by just fidgeting around in whatever way that feels good to you. So if you need to roll your shoulders, roll your shoulders. If you want to pedal through your legs, do that. If you feel like you need to twist a little bit, do that. You're just taking a couple of minutes to just find your center, find your neutral spine. And once you feel like you have connected with the body in whatever way feels appropriate for you in this moment, go ahead and start to find yourself into a still, neutral spine. From there, allow the gaze to either soften down towards the floor or the eyes to close completely. Take a moment to really just allow a hand to rest to the heart, a hand to rest to the abdomen, and feel the weight of your hands against the torso. And start to tune into the feel of the breath pressing back into your hands. And as you take the next couple of breaths here, it's just really an invitation to find a gentle bend in the knees, to find the connection between the hands and the torso and the breath. And then just to allow the body to settle in. So I don't know about you, but I've been doing a lot of sitting this week. So I thought we would do an entire practice focused on standing. So that's where we're going to go today. When you're ready, you'll gently allow the hands to drop alongside your hips. Allow the palms to face the sides of your legs. And then I want you to take a slight bend into your knees. As you bend your knees, bring your hands to your hips. Start to push your hips down and straighten your legs, and feel that length that happens as you push your hips down, but you straighten your legs. Let's go ahead and keep that. Lift up through the sternum. Allow the shoulders to slide back and down, and then drop your hands once again. From here, reach the arms out to the side, palms face up. And again, find the length from your tailbone down through your legs, down through the feet, down into the floor, and then find the width, the breadth from your pinky fingers all the way through your thumbs. And then feel that length as it comes into the chest, and see if you can broaden the back body and the front body, front and back of the torso as you reach out through your fingertips. Next, exhale, lower the hands alongside your hips. Great, let's add on. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, right to left, palms face up. Again, root down through the pelvis, root down through the legs, root down through the feet, root down into the floor, and then inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Now, as your arms come up and overhead now, I want you to turn your palms to face forward. Reach up through your fingers, reach down through your tailbone, and then maybe lift up through the gaze just a smidge. Next, exhale, lower the hands back down alongside your hips. Go ahead and hold on to your hips again. Bend the knees just slightly. And then push the legs to straight, push the pelvis down. Now from here, draw your front two hip bones together and start to spill forward at your waist. So you're gonna come all the way over until you're in a forward fold. Once your head is roughly in line with your knees or lower, maybe lower your hands down to the floor underneath you. And again, you might bend one knee, you might bend the other knee, but just start to notice what it feels like to really let the head be heavy, to really connect into the legs, into the feet, into the floor. Awesome. Once you're balanced between both sides, go ahead and come to stillness. And then notice where the weight is on your feet. Is it forward in the toes? Is it back in the heels? And see if you can just find the center, find the middle. Next in breath, slide your hands up your shins, lift your heart and sternum forward. Lightly press your fingertips into your shins, push your shins into your fingers. See if you can send your pubic bone back, and then, like a little turtle, reach your head forward. Draw the shoulder blades onto your back body and see if you can breathe. Awesome sauce. Bring one hand to the back of your butt, the other hand to the back of your butt, and you're going to push down on your butt flesh to bring your spine all the way up to vertical. Push down on your butt flesh, bring your spine all the way up to vertical. Cool. Go ahead and drop your hands. Bring your hands to heart center. Bend your knees. Open or jump your feet 3 feet. Fantastic. Okay. So once your feet are 3 feet apart, hands come right back to your hips. Go ahead and bend the knees just a little bit. And then again, push down through the pelvis, straighten the legs, and find that length. Cool. From here, open the arms out to the right and to the left, palms face up. And again, find the length from down to up as you reach and find the width from right to left. Next, inhale, both arms reach up and over your head. And this time, as you exhale, let's just bring our right hand to our right hip. Reach up through your left hand even more. Drop your right ear to your right shoulder and just find a nice baby side bend just happening in the neck. We're just reaching up through the left arm. We're letting the right ear drop to the right. It's very much just in the upper body. Nice work. Inhale, reach both arms high. As you exhale, draw the left hand to the left hip. Drop the left ear to the left shoulder. Reach up through the right hand. And again, just find a little stretch happening here along the right side body. Next in breath, both hands high. As you exhale, arms open out and they come back down to your hips. Turn your left toes out, turn your right toes in. Keep your right hand on your right hip. So that whole thing where we were just bending our knees and straightening our legs, you're going to keep that activation. So really push down into your right hip, reach your left arm parallel to the floor. Now shift your pelvis to the right, reach out through your left arm. Fantastic. Lower your left hand to your block on its highest setting. Fantastic. Now from here, again, take a moment to push out through both of your feet. Push your right hand into your right hip. Feel that length happening on your right hip side body. Push down into your left hand, roll your left ribs under, your right ribs up, draw the shoulder blades on top, and then when you're ready, you might reach your right arm up to the sky. And you'll just take a moment, make sure you've got a 180-degree angle in the arms. So the right arm is stacked on top of the left. Find ease in your neck and deepen your breath. Nice work. Next in breath, gaze comes to the floor, right arm reaches back and you come back up to vertical. Awesome sauce. Hands come to hips, turn both feet parallel to the short edge of your mat. And then try it the other side. So the right foot will turn out, the left foot will turn in. Again, push your hands into your hips to find that length. Then reach your right arm out, parallel-ish to the floor. Shift your pelvis back to the left, lean long through your right hand, and then lower your right hand to your block on the highest setting underneath your right shoulder. Again, with that left hand on the left hip, we want to push down into both feet and then find the length by really rooting your left hip down into your left foot. Push down into the right hand, wrap the right ribs under, the left shoulder stacks on top, and then if you're ready, you reach your left arm up to the sky. And then you just take a couple of breaths here to notice how you can make the movement or tension in your neck feel easier. Can your right ear be parallel-ish to the floor? So your right side of your neck is as long as your left. Nice work. Next in-breath, gaze comes to the floor, left hand sweeps back, and you come back up to vertical. Bring your hands to your hips. Awesome sauce. Bend your knees and step or float your feet together. Awesome. Okay. From here, let's go ahead and add on. So back to that Tadasana shape. Root down through your feet again. Extend your arms down alongside you and then reach them out and up and overhead. Now this time, I want you to reach up more with your left hand, push down with your left foot, and then reach up more with your right hand, push down through your right foot. So almost like apple picking. And you've got about 4 sets of these. So we're finding the push down as you reach up, push down as you reach up. Nice work. Once you're balanced between both sides, reach both arms up, root both legs down, and on your next exhale, go ahead and lower the hands alongside the hips. Cool. Inhale, heart lifts up. As you exhale, top 2 hip bones start to come together, spill forward at the hips, and fold forward for Uttanasana, forward fold. Now this time, we're going to stay and see if we can lower our hands maybe to the floor, maybe alongside our feet, or maybe they're on the tops of our shins. And I want you to see if you can let the head be even heavier by drawing your chin towards your chest. Now, as you're here, let's go ahead and bend both knees and then straighten both legs. And you're just going to do that about 3 to 4 times. Let the head be super heavy. You bend and you straighten your legs. And you notice that the knees travel over the center of your foot. You notice that the inner and outer edges of your heels are equally weighted. Awesome sauce. We'll call this our last one. On your next in-breath, slide your hands up the center of your shins, reach your sternum and heart forward. Now this time I want you to see if you can come to your fingertips. So press your fingertips into your shins. Now see if you can find a little cow shape in your pelvis. So really feel like you're dumping your low belly to the floor so your pubic bone can reach back. From there, see if you can reach your crown out of your spine. Draw your chin to your chest just slightly, Barbara. And then draw your low organs in to support your belly, or rather in to support your spine. Fantastic. From here, draw one hand to your butt, draw the other hand to your butt. So the palms are facing down on your butt, and then you're going to push your butt flesh down to bring your spine all the way up to vertical. Long levers, long straight spine. Awesome. All right. Go ahead and bring the hands back to heart center. Bend your knees, step or jump the feet 3 feet apart. Awesome. Okay, moving on. From here, again, turn the right toes in, turn the left toes out. Bring your hands back to your hips. Great. And then from here, we're going to stay with pushing the right hand down, reaching the left arm out. Shift your right hip all the way back and see if we can find this long, long line, almost Jane Fonda-ish on our left side. With that left arm long, reach the left hand down to the floor or the block, and maybe you lower the block a lower tick, or maybe it stays on its highest setting. It's totally up to you, but you're going to take a moment to pause here. Now, again, push out through both feet. Root down through your right hip, and then push down into your left hand. Scoop the left ribs under, stack the right rib on top, and then maybe you reach your right arm up and overhead. Option to stay right here. Option to extend your right arm alongside your right ear, and that's just going to intensify whatever stretch you're experiencing between your right hip and your right ribs. And then again, you're just finding an ease in your neck. You're deepening your breath, and you're seeing if the left ribs can pull under. Nice work. Next in-breath, gaze comes down, right arm sweeps back, and you come all the way up to vertical. Turn both feet parallel to the short edges of your mat. Bring both hands to your hips. Left foot spins in, right foot spins out. Again, root down through your legs and have your hands there to actively push that out. Extend the right arm out. Shift the pelvis to the left and just take a moment to pause here. This is our sneaky core work, as Erica would call this, because your obliques have to hold you here. And then reach out and lower that right hand all the way down to the floor. Sorry, not to the floor, to your block. And it maybe stays on first setting, or maybe it goes a little lower. Again, root through your feet, press the left hand to the left hip, push down into the right hand, and let the right rib spin under, left rib spin up. And then maybe you lift up through your left arm and you just find this verticality through the arms. Or maybe you turn your left palm to the right and you sweep the left palm alongside your ears and you find a long side stretch here in your quadratus lumborum, and you just pause and you breathe. And you pause and you breathe, and your legs are still active. Next in-breath gaze comes to the floor. Left arm sweeps back. You come all the way back up to vertical and turn both feet parallel to the short edges of your mat. Okay. New variation. Hands come back to your hips. Go ahead and bend your knees a little bit. Push the legs to straight as you root the pelvis down. Heart lifts up. Pull your front two hip bones towards each other and start to spill forward at the hips. So hinging forward. Once you're about halfway, lower the hands underneath your shoulders. Listen closely. Walk your hands forward another 12 inches or so. So almost like we're going towards a down dog. Keep the weight in your legs. Come to the tips of your fingertips like thing. And I want you to isometrically pull your fingertips back towards your feet as you lower your ears in line with the tops of your arms, and find a little bit of stretch happening here along your side body, your latissimus dorsi. Some of you will stay right here. Some of you might bend one knee and just feel what that feels like. Some of you might then straighten that bent leg and then bend the other knee and feel what that feels like. Awesome. And if you're doing that, maybe you do it one more time each side. And then let's come back to center, back to neutral. Start to walk your hands back. So maybe now your fingertips are in line with your toe tips, and allow the head to descend to the floor just a bit more. Prasarada Padottanasana. Fantastic. Walk your hands underneath your shoulders. Lift your spine halfway. Pause here. Slight bend in the backs of the knees. Bring your fingertips to the tops of your shins. Lift your spine parallel to the floor. Yep. Send your pubic bone back, the center of your crown forward. And then again, hands to the backs of your buttocks. Push your butt flesh down, bring your spine up. Awesome sauce. Take a moment to just notice what you notice. Maybe hands stay on hips or hands come to heart center, bend the knees, step or jump the feet back to Tadasana, back to center. Awesome sauce. All right, let's go ahead and release the hands alongside your hips. Inhale, open the arms out, parallel-ish to the floor. Now, I want you to turn your palms forward, then your palms down and your palms back, and start to sweep your hands back behind you. Sweep them back behind you until they clasp. Fantastic. Take a moment here to reinvestigate the legs. So slight bend in the knees, lengthening down through the legs. Hug your elbows towards each other. Hug your shoulder blades together towards each other, and see if you can lift up a little bit higher through the sternum, a little bit higher through the skull. Nice work. All right, gently release that. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. And as you exhale, this time we're going to swan dive forward. So we go all the way forward. Fantastic. Once you're here, let's go ahead and walk our hands directly underneath our shoulders. Bend your knees and straighten your legs. And so you've got just about 3 of these, bending the knees and straightening the legs. Awesome sauce. Cool. Let's go ahead and pause here with your hands underneath your shoulders. Lift your spine halfway. Bend your knees once again. Shift your butt back, reach your arms forward, bring your spine up, Utkatasana. And so we're just going to have our little zombie arms forward parallel to the floor. Sit as tall as you can through your spine and bend deeply through your legs. Nice work, guys. Next in breath, stand up, reach up, maybe look up. And then exhale, arms open out to the side and back down alongside your hips. Cool. Let's move on. Either hands at hips or hands at heart center. Bend your knees, step or jump your feet 3 feet apart. Fantastic. Turn your right toes in, turn your left toes out. Now for this one, let's bring our hands to our hips. This is a weird entrance. I'm fully aware of this and hopefully it goes okay. We're going to go ahead and bend our left knee. Now, as you bend your left knee, I want you to start to turn your pelvis a little bit towards your left knee. So your right hip is going to come forward more towards the upper left corner of your or back corner of your space. Now, as the pelvis goes that way, counter that with your ribs turning. So your shoulders are now parallel to the short edge of your mat. Great. From there, extend the arms out parallel to the floor, warrior two. And then now take your gaze over your left middle finger as you continue to reach back through your right middle finger. And so just take a couple of moments to notice how this is a little bit different. So our pelvis is slightly different. You might feel more engagement on the inner right thigh as you push out through both feet. Fantastic. Let's undo this. So head comes back to the long edge of your mat. Hands come back to your hips. Shoulders unwind towards your knee, or bent knee rather. Go ahead and unwind the abdomen towards the short or the long edge of your mat. Straighten your leg. Turn both legs parallel to the short edge of your mat. Cool, let's try that the other side. So left toes turn in, right toes spin out. Go ahead and bend your right knee. And then really use the hands to direct the abdomen, the torso, or the pelvis rather, towards your bent knee. Keep that and then rotate your shoulders opposite. So they're now parallel to the long edge of your mat. Cool. From there, open the arms out, right to left. Notice how you can extend evenly through both arms and then take your gaze over your right middle finger as you continue to reach back through your left middle finger. Nice work. All right, and then we'll come out of that. So your head turns back to the long edge of your mat. Your hands come back towards your hips. Your shoulders turn towards your right. Your hips turn towards the left. You straighten your right leg and you turn both feet parallel to the short edge of your mat. Great. From here, you might need to wiggle walk your feet in just a smidge, bend your knees, step, or hop the feet together. Cool. Let's move on. Inhale, open the arms out, parallel to the floor, parallel to the floor, palms face up. Turn your palms forward, turn your palms down, sweep your arms back behind you, and take the awkward opposite thumb on top. So I never know which one that is until I switch it, so you might need to do that. And then from here, again, bend the knees, draw the shoulders up towards the ears this time, draw the shoulder blades together on the back, and then see if you can straighten the legs, finding that length from the tailbone down, the crown up. Maybe the sternum lifts a little bit more and you find a baby upper back bend. Nice. All right. Gently release that. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up and overhead. This time as you swan dive, I want you to cactus your elbows, finding a squeeze of the shoulder blades onto the back body as you come all the way down to the floor. Once your head is descended, lower the hands to the floor underneath you. And then this time, let's go ahead and see if we can find our halfway lift. So find a spine as parallel-ish to the floor as possible, fingers underneath your shoulders, maybe fingertips touching the floor. Great. And then you're just going to bend your knees a few times. So 3 times, bending and straightening the legs, seeing if you can keep the spine this long. The heart stays forward. You're just bending the knees, seeing how this works. There we go. Nice job, guys. Okay, this next time you bend the knees, keep the knees bent. Sweep your arms forward. Maybe arms are alongside your ears. Sit your butt down, Utkatasana. And then you just take a moment to pause and you breathe. Reach up through your pinky fingers a little more. See if you can allow the sternum to lift. See if you can find length in the back of your neck. Next in breath, stand up, reach up, look up. Lengthen tailbone down, really root down through the legs. And as you exhale, open the arms out and alongside your hips. Take a moment to soften the gaze or close the eyes and just notice what you notice. All right, let's move on. Open the eyes if they're closed. Hands come to hips or hands to heart center. Bend your knees and step or jump the feet 3 feet apart. Fantastic. Turn your right toes in, turn your left toes out. Again, bend your left knee. Now, this time, I want you to see if you can really hug your outer left hip in. And then we're going to rotate our belly, our pelvis towards that left knee again. Then we're going to rotate our ribs, our shoulders up opposite that, so towards the long edge of the mat. Again, open the arms out parallel towards the floor, and then take your gaze over your left middle fingers. You reach back through your right. Cool. This time you're going to reach so far. Let me do it this way. Bring your right hand to your right hip. Reach out through your left hand like we did just a moment ago. Find your block. Bring it to the outside edge of your left knee. Turn it to the highest setting most likely. And I want you to push your knee in towards your inner arm, your arm into your knee. Press your right hand into your right hip and see if you can rotate your left ribs under, your right ribs on top. Some of you will stay here. Some of you will slide or slink your right arm alongside your ears to find extended side angle. Utthita Parsva Konasana. And you're just pausing, you're breathing, you're pushing through your legs. Nice work. Next in breath, gaze comes to the floor, left or right arm sweeps back, come back to Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Fantastic. Head comes to the long edge of your mat. Hands come back to your hips. Shoulders unwind to your left. Pelvis unwinds to your right. You straighten your left leg. You turn both legs parallel to the short edge of your mat. Cool. We'll try that on the other side. So right toes turn out, left toes turn in. Again, start to bend into your right knee. Draw the outer right hip back as you continue to allow the top of your left hip, your left ASIS, to come towards the back of your mat. From there, turn your shoulders to the left and then open your arms out parallel to the floor. Cool. Take your gaze over your right middle fingers. You continue to reach back through your left. Great. Keep all of that. Bend your left elbow. Bring your left hand to your left hip. Reach out through your right hand, finding that length on your right side body, and then lower your right hand to your block, most likely to the highest setting outside of your right leg. Now, as you continue to open the inner right thigh, you're pushing the outer right hip into your inner right arm. You push the right arm down into the floor. You push the left hand into the left hip, left foot into the floor, and then rotate your right ribs under, left ribs up. From there, you might stay there, or you might slide or slink or reach your left arm alongside your ears to find Utthita Parsva Konasana, extended side angle. And again, you just pause and you breathe and you notice all this length. Nice work. Next in breath, turn your gaze to the floor. Sweep your left arm back. Return to Virabhadrasana 2. Gaze over the center of your right hand. Then turn your head to the left. Bring your hands to your hips. Turn your ribs and shoulders to the right. Turn your hips to the left. Straighten your right leg and turn both feet parallel to the short edge of your mat. Cool. Let's add on here. So from here, let's go ahead and take a moment to, again, bend the knees, push the pelvis, straighten the legs, reach up through the heart, and we're going to start to hinge forward at the hips. Now, once you're halfway, let's lower our hands underneath our shoulders. Cool. So this is going to be slightly wonky. You're going to take your left hand a little bit more in front of your right hand and to the right. Awesome. Come to the tips of your fingertips and you're going to claw back with that left hand and then take your right hand underneath you. So it's between your left hand and your torso and grab the outside edge of your left shin bone. And as you claw back with your left hand, you reach your crown towards your left hand. And then you pull your outer left hip back. You pull with your right hand against your left shin as you push your left shin to the left. We're finding this rotation and this length in our spine, and we're pausing and we're breathing. Nice work. When you're ready to come out of that, you release your right hand first. The hand comes forward to meet the left. Bring both hands back to your center. Awesome. Now you're going to take your right hand slightly in front and to the left of your left hand. Come to the tips of your fingers. Pull back with your right hand. Draw your left hand underneath you to grab the front outside edge of your right shin. Now, as you pull back isometrically with your right hand, you lengthen your crown, your head towards your fingers. And then you pull with your left hand as you push your right shin to the right. And we're just finding this length and rotation in our torso as we're here, and hopefully we're breathing. And then when you're ready to come out, you release the right hand first. You walk both hands back to center. And then start to walk both hands back. So maybe fingers are in line with your toes, your crown descends towards the floor, and you're in Prasarita Padottanasana. And then notice if, Roberta, shift your weight forward just a little bit so there's more weight on, there we go, the balls of your feet. And you just pause and you breathe. As you're ready to come out of this, let's bring our hands underneath our shoulders. Lift your spine parallel to the floor. Great. Come to the tips of your fingertips if needed, so your spine can be as parallel-ish to the floor as possible. There we go. Let's keep that. Find a slight bend into your knees. Bring your hands this time to the tops of your shin bones. And I want you to push your fingertips into your shins into your fingers, and see if you can lengthen your spine a little bit more. Nice job. Now bring a hand to your butt, another hand to the other butt, push down into your butt flesh and come all the way up to stand. Take a moment to allow the vestibular system to catch up. So if you're feeling dizzy, drop your chin to your chest, lift your chest to your chin, and then walk your feet in just maybe a smidge. Hands come to hips or hands at heart center. Bend your knees, step or float, feet together. Hooray! Okay, let's move on. Go ahead and release your hands alongside your hips. Inhale, reach the arms out parallel-ish to the floor, palms face up. Palms will spin forward, down, and back, and hands will interlace behind you. Again, take the comfortable interlace first. Really root down through the feet, lift up through the sternum, hug the shoulder blades together on your back. So we're going to add all these things together now. I want you to hug your front two hip bones together. Start to hinge at your hips. Your head will come forward. Your hands will start to lift away from your bum, maybe. And then maybe you'll see if you can just allow your head to descend. And then maybe you might reach the hands a little further away from your pelvis. And then I want you to notice what's happening in your shoulders. Does it feel better for you to draw the shoulders up to your ears, or does it feel better for you to draw the shoulders away from the ears? And then how do you make your head a little heavier? Nice work. When you're ready to come out of this, hands come back to your butt. They slide down the outer edges of your legs, and now they come to your feet. Now see if you can maybe hold on to your feet. Notice if you can let your chin drop to your chest a little bit more. Fantastic. Cool. From here, fingers come down to the floor. Inhale, bend your knees. And exhale, straighten the legs. Let's do that one more time. Bend your knees. And straighten your legs. All right. Inhale, bend your knees, sweep your arms forward, sit your butt low. Utkatasana, chair pose. Cool. So this one is going to be a weird one. Sitting low in chair, I want you to cactus your elbows. So now our elbows are out alongside us and we're in this weird cornholio shape. Now, Jane Fonda, your elbows towards each other like you're doing a chest press. So now your palms are parallel in front of you. Slide your right arm over your left. And so now we're in eagle arms, almost. Press the backs of your hands into each other. So we're not doing the double wrap, just the single wrap. Sit your butt low. See how that feels. Notice what you notice happening in your back shoulder blades. Notice what's happening in your legs and in your breath. Awesome. The right arm will slip out. You open back to cornholio cactus shape. And then Jane Fonda, the elbows towards each other again. Switch the other elbow on top. So most likely your left elbow, backs of the palms press in, your butt still sitting low. Elbows in line with the tops of your shoulders. There we go. Awesome sauce. Unwind the arms, open back to the cactus. Straighten the legs, lower the hands alongside your hips. Take a moment to breathe. Take a moment to soften the gaze or close the eyes. And just notice, how does the body feel? Cool. Let's add on. Hands come to your hips. Bend your knees. Step or jump your feet 3 feet apart. Cool. Let's turn our right toes in, our left toes out. Again, let's bend into that left knee. Cool. This time I want you to lift your left heel up, like nice 3-inch stilettos, and then lower the heel back down. And you're going to do that again. So lift the heel up and lower it down and lift it up and lower it down. Cool. Keep it down. Draw your outer left hip back. Start to spin your belly towards your left knee. Now, this time we're going to keep our right hand on our left hip, right hand on our right hip, reach out through your left hand. And I want you to lower your left hand to your block. Maybe it comes to the first setting. Maybe it goes down a tick for you. It's totally up to you. Cool. So we're going to keep pushing into our feet. We're going to keep pushing down into our left hand and wrap our left ribs under and forward. We're going to keep pushing our right hand into our right hip. Some of you will stay here. Some of you will reach your right arm alongside your ear. So revisiting Utthita Parsvakonasana. Some of you will be like, yeah, I'm ready to move on. So you might reach your right arm back up. You might turn your palm forward and then back and then sweep the arm behind you and maybe touch the back of your left butt cheek, or maybe sneak the right hand into the inner left thigh. Wherever you are, you're still bending into that front knee. That's your left knee. You're drawing your outer left hip back. You're rooting down through your left arm. You're reaching around. Nice work. When you're ready to come out, if you've got the bind, you're going to reach the arm back up and alongside your ears. Turn your gaze to the floor. Sweep the right arm back. Come all the way back up to warrior two. Straighten the front leg. Bring your hands to the hips. Turn both feet parallel to the short edge of your mat. Cool. Let's try that on the other side. So turn your right toes out, your left toes in. Go ahead and bend into your right knee. And again, we're going to start with this spiraling of the hips. So it really does feel like you're slightly turning your pelvis. And when you do that, you notice that you can adjust what's happening in your back foot. Cool. Keep rooting down from your left hand to your left hip to your left foot. Reach out through your right arm. Find that length and then reach forward, out, and down to bring your hand to the block outside of your right leg. And it can be on the highest setting, middle setting, no setting, like whatever's working for you is great. Now, again, we're going to push through the feet. We're going to push down through the right arm. We're going to reach the right ribs under, left ribs up. You might stay here with your hand on your hip. You might slide your left arm alongside your ear and find extended side angle, Utthita Parsvakonasana. You might reach that arm up, turn the palm back, sweep the hand behind you, and maybe touch your outer right butt cheek. Maybe the hand slips to the inside edge of your right leg, but you're just taking a moment to pause. You're taking a moment to breathe. You're noticing what you notice. Nice work. If you've got the half bind, very gently release. Arm comes back alongside your ear, and then turn your gaze to the floor, sweep the left arm back, come all the way back to warrior two. Hands to hips, straighten the front leg long, turn both feet parallel to the short edges of your mat. And now let's wiggle walk our feet in just a smidge. Okay. So still in that wide-legged forward fold position, but just a little further out. And then from here, we're going to inhale, lift our heart up, and start to fold forward at our waist. Okay, this time as you come all the way down, let's go ahead and lower our hands to the floor. And I want you to see if you can keep all the weight in your legs as you walk your hands as far forward as possible. So the weight stays in your legs, but you reach forward through your hands. Great. Send your pubic bone back. Let your heart melt. Nice job. You might choose to stay here, or you might walk your hands now back so they're in line with the tops of your feet, or rather the toes. And you might stay here. And you might notice that you can let the chin come to the chest, the head descend towards the floor. Some of you might bring your hands to your outer ankles and take this variation, but you just notice each one, what's happening to the weight in your legs. How are your pinky toes still connected to the outer edge of the feet? And how are the outer edge of the feet connected to the floor? What does that do to the inner arch of your foot, your inner inseam of the leg? All right, let's move on. Hands come underneath your hips, or underneath your shoulders rather. Inhale, lift your spine halfway, slightly bend your knees, and then pull your heart forward just a smidge more. This time, let's open our arms out, right to left, parallel to the floor. And you're just going to take a breath to pause here. This is more weight on the body, so you just notice that. When you're ready, hands come to hips, push down into your legs, come all the way up to vertical. Great. Take a moment to pause. Take a moment to breathe. If you need to wiggle walk your feet in just a little bit, you do that, and then you either step or jump your feet back to the midline. Cool. Last few things. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up, parallel to the floor. Now turn your palms forward, turn your palms down, turn your palms behind you, sweep them back behind you. Take the awkward opposite interlace. Again, draw the shoulders towards the ears, shoulder blades onto the back. Find a slight bend in your knees as you find the length through the backs of the hamstrings. Heart lifts up. And then exhale, start to hinge forward at your hips, folding forward into an Uttanasana forward fold. You might keep your hands pretty close to your pelvis. You might reach your arms up towards the sky. You might even let the arms come over your head in opposition to your pelvis. But wherever you are, notice what's happening in the shoulders. How close are the heels of your hands towards one another? How deep is your breath? What is the sensation you're feeling in the legs? Gently bring the hands to your pelvis. Slide your hands down the feet and to the floor. From here, we're going to go directly into chair pose. So we're going to get there incrementally. Bend your knees, plant your fingers on the floor. Bend your knees even more, sweep your arms forward. Bend your knees even more and bring your arms alongside your ears. Fantastic. Cool. Let's cactus our elbows, finding Jane Fonda shape again. Or rather, cactus the elbows, cornholio. Now, Jane Fonda, bring your elbows towards each other. Really push palms and elbows towards each other. Cool. Slide your right arm over your left arm, so elbow creases are hooked. Maybe you double wrap the palms as well this time. And then you just sit there. Maybe you lift your right heel up. Maybe you cross your right thigh over. But you just take a moment to pause and you breathe. You pause and you breathe. If the right leg lifted, uncross the right leg. Unhook the elbows back to that cornholio cactus shape. Jane Fonda, the elbows back to the midline. Left arm slides over the right. Maybe you double wrap the elbows. Maybe you lift your left heel. Maybe you slide your left leg over the right for Garudasana. And you just pause and you breathe. If you cross the legs, uncross the legs. Unhook the hands, uncross the elbows back to the cactus shape, and then go ahead and stand up, lower the arms, and take a moment to just shake that out. That was a lot. Good job. Well, you just notice, how'd that go? How did you feel? Cool. Let's move on. If you need water, you might want to get water. I had to get water. Normally that doesn't happen, but today it did. All right. And then hands at hips or hands at heart center. Bend your knees, step or float your feet 3 feet apart. Great. Cool. Let's move on. So let's go ahead and turn our right toes in and our left toes out. And now this time you're going to wiggle walk your left foot a little bit more towards the left. And you might need to lift your right heel and pivot your right heel out more towards your right. So now we're going towards warrior one, facing the back of our space, depending upon where you put your camera. And then let's start to bend into our front knee. So that's our left knee. And I want you to hold onto your pelvis and really steer your outer left hip back, your outer right hip forward. Really root down into your back pinky toe, and then see if you can reach up through the sternum. Now, from here, you're going to sweep your arms forward like you're unrolling a magic red carpet, and then reach your arms alongside your ears for Virabhadrasana 1. And you just take a moment to pause and breathe. And this is something Rodney Yee was talking about this week that I really enjoyed. He was talking about finding the back bend in your warrior one. So as you're here, we've done some Utkatasana to prepare for that. So just notice how you can find that crescent shape, that really beautiful open heart, and just notice what that feels like. And then when you're ready, the arms sweep forward, they come back, they come to your hips. You're gonna go ahead and straighten the front leg, turn both feet parallel to the short edge of your mat. And then we're gonna try all that on the other side. So now your left toes turn in, your right toes turn out. You might need to wiggle walk your right foot a little bit to the right as you lift your left heel and maybe you spin it out to the left a bit. Start to bend into your front knee, so that's your right knee. And then with your hands on your pelvis, really steer your back hip, your outer left hip forward. Continue to externally rotate the back leg though, so your left pinky toe presses down and just feel that. And then start to sweep your arms forward like you're unrolling a red carpet for yourself, and arms are up and over your head. And then again, notice what it feels like. So now you can find that back bend, the elegance of the spine, the sternum lifts, maybe the gaze lifts, and you just feel this light spaciousness happening in your spine. Awesome sauce. When you're ready to come out of it, arms sweep forward, they come back to your hips. Go ahead and straighten that leg. Turn both feet parallel to the short edge of your mat. Cool. Walk your feet in a bit. Bend your knees, step or hop your feet back to the midline. Cool. This is going to be awkward. Let's see how that goes. Inhale, sweep your arms out and up and overhead. Now I want you to turn your palms to face forward like that little volcano pose. And I want you to root down through your feet, down through the backs of your heels, backs of the buttocks, especially as you reach up through the arms. Shift the weight to your right leg and float your left leg up, one-legged Tadasana. Awesome sauce. Now externally rotate that left leg. Use your left hand to grab your left foot and put your left foot wherever you want it to be for Vrikshasana tree pose, and then reach your hand up again. So with having both hands up, you can really root down through your right foot as you reach up through your right hand and find that stability in the shape. Nice job, guys. When you're ready to come out, hands will come to heart center. Internally rotate that left leg and root the left foot down. Cool. That was great. All right, let's try it on the other side. So arms sweep out and up and overhead. Turn your palms to face forward. And again, first thing you're doing is really rooting through your left butt cheek, down through your left heel, reach up through your left arm. Shift the weight to your left. Float your right leg parallel-ish to the floor. Fantastic. Start to externally rotate that leg. Use your right hand to hold your right ankle. Place that foot wherever you want to, and then rejoin your left hand with your right hand. Find that length all the way down as you root from the butt to your foot, from the butt to the hands. Nice job. Hands come to heart center. Gently release the right leg, internally rotate the leg, and put the foot to the floor. That wasn't too bad. Good job, guys. All right. Hands come to hips. Bend your knees. Step or jump your feet, 3 feet apart. Cool. Turn your right toes in. Turn your left toes out. Again, start to roll or pull your pelvis to the left. You might need to wiggle walk your left foot to the left just a smidge. And then turn your right heel out to the right a little bit. Start to bend into your front leg. So we're finding that warrior one again, pulling the outer left hip back. Reach your arms forward to come up for Virabhadrasana 1, warrior 1. Cool. And again, just notice, find the elegance, find the length in the spine. Externally rotate the back leg as you find a bit of lift through the crown. Okay, we're going to add on here. Let's go ahead and draw our left hand to our left hip. Push your left leg straight, straighten your left leg long. Cool. Pull your left hip back with your left hand, reach forward with your right hand, finding that length that we did, And we're going to pause here for a moment with our spine parallel-ish to the floor. You're pulling your left hip back. You're rooting your right foot down. You're reaching your right arm forward. Sternum is lifting forward towards the center of your head. Awesome. Lightly grab your block. Bring it to the inside edge of your left foot. Push down into your left fingertips. Reach your crown forward. Pull your left hip back. And just take a moment to pause here. You might stay here happy as a super baby clam. You might pull your right hand back isometrically, push your right foot down, scoop your belly on the left side, and maybe stack your left shoulder on top of your right. And we're just going to pause and breathe here. We're not doing anything with that top arm. This is the extent of what we're doing right here. Fantastic. When you're ready to come out of that, unwind the spine, bend your front knee, reach your right arm forward. Awesome sauce. Bring the right hand back to the right hip, straighten the front leg long. You might need to move that block. Turn both feet parallel to the short edge of your mat. And then just take a moment. That was a lot. We did it. Okay. And then we're going to try the other side. So your left toes turn in, your right toes turn out. You might need to sneak your right heel to the right, left heel back a little bit to the left. And then we're going to bend into our right knee, finding our Virabhadrasana 1. And again, we're trying to find the comfort in our pelvis so that we find the comfort in our spine. And once you've got that, by steering your hips, reach the arms forward and up like a wave. Nice work. And just take a moment to really imagine that for some reason I'm having you apple pick here. So you lift the ribs away from the hips, you lift the sternum, you lift through the crown of the head, and your neck becomes long. Now bring your right hand to your right hip. Push into your right foot to straighten your right leg. Now pull back with your right hand, reach forward, out and down to draw your spine parallel to the floor. Fantastic. And you're just going to take a couple of breaths here. We're building that back strength. You're finding your sternum lengthening towards the crown of your head. Your turtle shell is tractioning, or your turtle head is tractioning out of your turtle shell. Awesome. And then when you're ready, you're going to lightly lower that left hand. You're going to grab your block and bring it to the inside edge of your right foot. I would encourage you here to come to the tips of your fingertips on your left hand, and then lift your spine parallel to the floor if it's not. Isometrically pull your left hand back as you reach your sternum forward. Push down into your left foot, push down into your right foot, scoop your belly on the right side, and maybe you start to rotate your rib cage towards your right. And you might just stay here. That is all we're doing. We're not lifting that arm. We're just rotating. We're seeing if we can lean our heart back. Awesome. Next in-breath, gaze comes to the floor. Bend your front knee. Sweep your left arm up and overhead. Awesome sauce. Hands come to the hips. Straighten the front leg long. You're probably going to need to move that block. Turn both feet parallel to the short edge of your mat. Cool. Hands to hips. Bend the knees, jump or step the feet together. Great. And once you get back to center, just take a moment to notice what you notice happening between the sides. If you need to lower the hands, lower the hands. You need to shake the body, shake the body. You've just got a couple of minutes for you, or a couple breaths rather. Cool. Let's move on. All right. From here, inhale, circle, sweep your arms up and overhead. And then exhale, fold forward at your hips. Once you're down, let's take a moment to inhale, halfway lift. Fingertips press into your shins push into your fingertips. And see if you can lengthen your head out of your torso. Next, exhale, fold all the way in, Uttanasana. And then inhale, bend your knees, sit your butt low, Utkatasana, chair pose. Pause, breathe. Inhale, stand up, reach up, look up. And then exhale, hands alongside your hips. Cool. Last thing, hands come to your hips, bend your knees, step or float your feet 3 feet apart. Cool. Turn your right toes in, your left toes out. Wiggle walk your left foot to the left and return to Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Cool. Now this time, what we're working on this set is, again, you're pulling that left hip back. I want you to reach your heart forward. So you're hinging forward at your spine. And then you're going to shift your weight forward and make your back heel super light, coming to the balls of your feet. And then you're going to start to lift your inner right thigh away from the floor as you reach your heart forward, finding a variation of Warrior 3. Awesome. And then when you're ready to come out, you bend your left leg, you reach your right toes back. You then lift your spine back to Warrior 1. You straighten your front leg long. You turn both feet parallel to the short edges of your mat. Cool. Let's try that on the other side. So left toes turn in, right toes turn out. Wiggle walk the right foot a little bit to the right, left heel a little bit to the left. Bend into your front leg. Find that comfort, stability in your pelvis first. Hands around hips. There you go. And then from here, you're going to lean your heart forward. So hinging just at your hips. You'll notice then that you can start to make your left heel a little bit lighter. Then you can start to shift the weight forward even more and lift through that inner left thigh as you find your Warrior 3 variation. When you're ready to come out, you bend the right knee, you tack the left toes down, you bring the spine back up, you straighten the front leg long, you turn both legs parallel to the short edges of your mat. Cool. Take a moment to be here. Awesome. Cool. Let's go ahead and bend the knees, step or hop the feet back together. How did that go? Do we have one more in us or are we done? That's a thumbs up. We're done? We're done. Okay. Cool. Then from there, oh, I can't see all your thumbs. I got one thumb from Alora. Barbara doesn't, I can't, thumbs up. Okay. Let's try our last one with Warrior 3. If the last one was too much, by all means, hang out in Warrior 1. Otherwise, we're going to do one more Warrior 3, just so we're even. So step or jump your feet 3 feet apart. Turn your right toes in, turn your left toes out. Go ahead and bend into your front leg. And notice if you need to have already wiggle walked your feet a little further apart, right to left. So you do that. And then if you're hanging out in Warrior 1, maybe your hands stay on your hips. Maybe you reach your arms up and overhead. Those of us that are working on Warrior 3, arms will probably come up and overhead. Then you're going to hinge forward at your hips. And then you start to make your back heel a little lighter. You reach forward through your fingertips. You lift up through your inner right thigh. You reach forward through your hands and you find yourself in Warrior 3. When you're ready to come out, you bend your left knee. You reach the right toes back. You bring your spine back up to vertical. Yeah, you lower your hands to your hips. You straighten the front leg long. You turn both feet parallel to the short edges of your mat. Nice work. Last one. Turn your left toes in, turn your right toes out. Wiggle walk your right foot to the right, your left heel to the left. Again, bend into your front leg. And if you're taking Warrior 1, just sweep your arms up and overhead and hang out here, happy as a clam. If you'd like to try Warrior 3, you'll hinge forward at your hips. You'll start to make your back heel a little lighter. You'll reach forward more through your fingers. Well, as you lift your left thigh parallel-ish to the floor. When you're ready to come out, you bend your right knee. You lower your left toes down. You reach your arms up and overhead. Nice work. Hands come to hips. Straighten the legs long. Turn both feet parallel to the short edge of your mat. Cool. Last one here. Heart lifts. Push down through feet and then hinge forward for Prasarita Padottanasana. Now this time as you come in, I want you to do whatever feels appropriate for you. So if you want your feet a little further apart, by all means do that. If you want your feet a little closer together, do that. If you want your head dropping all the way to the floor, do that. If you want your spine parallel to the floor, do that. But you've got about 3 to 5 breaths here. And you're just noticing what it feels like to be in this forward fold, this internalized shape. And then as gracefully as you can, we're going to come out. So we're going to lift our hands underneath our shoulders. You're going to bend your knees and plant your palms on the floor and make your way to sit. So however you gracefully can get there. And for today, I'd like you to sit on a block in Virasana, hero's pose. If that's not going to happen, totally get it. You can sit Sukhasana. But otherwise, you'll put the block between your heels or blocks. That's always an option. You'll pull the flesh back and wide on the backs of your calves. And then you might need to lift your knees to move any flesh from underneath there. And then I always have to move a little bit of flesh from underneath my sit bones. And then I want you to find that elegance of your spine. So really allow the sit bones to rest into the block. And then feel how from that, your spine can find its stacking of the vertebra. So the sternum feels like it's lifted. The neck feels long. The head just floats. The shoulders slide down. And then you're going to rest your palms in one another on top of your lap. Okay, so see if you can touch your thumbs to touch. So the thumbs touch, and you're sort of holding your second knuckles in your hands. This is considered a universal mudra, and you're just going to take a couple of breaths here, allowing the spine to be long. Maybe you soften the gaze or close the eyes. You feel that connection between the floor as you really let the pelvis drop down and feel that length up. Feel the weight of your feet, the weight of the legs. And you've just got about 3 or 4 more breaths here on your own. And just notice what you notice. And then when you are complete, you're going to softly open the eyes, bring your butt to the floor, and make your way to your back. Ideally, have your heads facing the top of your mat. Make sure your strap is somewhere easily accessible to you, as is your blanket and your blocks. So head is towards the camera, top of mat. And when you find yourself lying down on your back, notice if you want to have your knees bent or if you want your legs straight. And you just feel the back body. How does the back body feel? We spent all that time standing, but ideally trying to find our neutral spine. So we'll see how that feels. And then if your legs are straight, go ahead and bend your knees. Draw your right knee into your chest. Draw the strap across the ball of your right foot and send your right foot up towards the sky. And we're just finding a 90-degree angle here. So you steer your carriage or ride those horses. You pull down equally with each hand. And notice if it feels appropriate for you to keep that left leg bent, or if you want to straighten the left leg along the floor. Now, we didn't really do a lot to stretch your hamstring, so you might find that this is quite a bit, and that's okay. We're also trying to reset the pelvis in case of any of the asymmetrical poses didn't feel so good. So you're just taking a couple of breaths. You're pushing your right heel up. You're pulling down evenly with the strap, and then check in with your shoulders. Have they hiked up to your ears, or are they softening away and down the back? If your left leg is long, internally rotate the leg slightly. Yep, so it remains in neutral. And then you just pause and you breathe, and you pause and you breathe. We've got about 3 more breath cycles here. At the end of your next exhalation, if the left leg is straight, gently bend the left knee, plant the left foot on the floor. And then bend the right knee, release the strap, and put the right foot on the floor. Pause, just notice what you notice between the sides. And then we'll try all that on the other side. So draw the left knee in, draw the strap across the ball of your left foot, and send the left foot up towards the sky. And again, holding on with both ends of the strap or both hands onto either end of the strap. And if you're happy here, stay here. Otherwise, you might extend your right leg long on the floor beneath you. And then notice what's happening in the shoulders. If the the right leg is straight, find a slight internal rotation so the leg stays neutral. Yeah. Robin, push more through your left big toe. There we go. And you just pause and you breathe and you notice what you notice. The end of this next exhalation, you'll gently bend the right knee, put the right foot on the floor. Gently bend the left leg, release it from the strap. From here, draw your knees into your chest. Slide your hands through the inner edges of your thighs. Grab the outer edges of your feet. Press the soles of the feet together and maybe you rock a little bit right to left, just feeling the sacrum really root onto the floor. If that doesn't feel like something you want to do, by all means, don't do that. Some of you might then play with happy baby by opening the legs. And I would encourage you to notice what happens if you really just pause and breathe. For me, I felt quite a bit happening across like the outer part of my hamstrings as I did that. I was like, oh, wow, all the standing poses didn't get to that. And so you just pause and you breathe and you notice what you notice. Awesome. Very gently release that. Hug the knees back towards the midline. Go ahead and plant both feet on the floor. Cross your right ankle over the top of your left thigh. Flex through your right foot quite a bit for Sukhi Randrasana figure 4. And then thread your hands through the triangular hole. Maybe grab the back of the left leg, front of your left shin, and just notice as that right foot remains active, you press the outer right ankle into the top of the left thigh and just notice what's happening in your outer right hip. 3 more breaths here. The end of the next exhalation, gently release the hands, uncross the feet, draw both feet back to the floor. And then you'll try it on the other side, crossing left ankle over the top of right thigh, actively flexing through that foot. Spread your hands through the triangular hole of the legs, grab the back of your right thigh, front of your right shin. And then just take a couple of breaths here, just noticing what's happening in that outer right hip. Keep the right ankle active. And then at the end of the next exhalation, you'll gently release. Bring both feet to the floor, hip distance apart. Hands alongside your hips. From here, let's go ahead and push through the feet, push through the arms, lift the hips up for Setu Bandha Sarvangasana, so bridge pose. You might walk your shoulders underneath you even more. You might grab the outer edges of your mat. You might interlace the hands or robot the arms, but just take a few breaths here. Really press through the big toe mound side of your foot as you lift your outer hips. And then notice what happens if you feel like, just as we did the standing pose where you interlaced your hands at the back body, what does it feel like if you draw your shoulder blades together? If you draw your elbows towards each other isometrically and really push down into the floor. And then lift your sternum towards your chin slightly towards your sternum, and you just pause and you breathe. And then gently release the hands, untuck the shoulders, bring the pelvis back down to the floor. From here, push through the feet, lift your butt up and slide your butt to the right and put your butt back down. And then let your legs fall to the left. You can stack both legs on top of each other if that feels good to you. And then if you have done that, I encourage you to bring your your right hand to your right low back rib thing. There you go. So it's really on your torso. It feels like you're in that space between where your ribs stop and your hip starts. And I want you to breathe into that hand. And you'll notice that the more that you do that, you really push the belly space into the hand and then draw it away. You might find that you can actually start to rotate more of your shoulders a little bit towards the right. I found that when I did that, my tummy starts talking to me. So if that starts talking to you too, that's okay. We're just finding a decompression of the spine by rotating. Awesome. I've got about 2 to 3 more breaths here, really breathing into that right low belly space. And then when you're ready to come out, the arms open out, the head comes back to center, the knees come back to center, the hips come back to center. And then you'll try all that on the other side. So you'll lift your butt up, you'll slide your butt to the left, you'll put your butt down, you'll let your legs fall to the right. Maybe you stack the legs right on top of each other. And then bring that left hand, I guess we could call this like our quadratus lumborum space. It really is a space between your ribs and your hips. And I want you to just breathe there. Actively think of pushing your breath into your hand and then receding the breath from the hand. And you might notice that as you do that, it really does, one, there's stuff that's going to be happening in your organs, but two, it allows to find length through the vertebral column. And then three, it feels like it allows more rotation to happen in the thoracic spine, which is really intended to rotate. So that's kind of fun. And you just pause and you breathe and you just notice what you notice. Fantastic. The end of the next exhalation, you'll gently unwind. So you'll release the hand, you'll release the head, you'll draw the knees back to center, you'll draw the hips back to center, and then you're going to find yourself in your final resting pose. So whether that's straight up Shavasana, whether that's Supta Baddha Konasana, whatever it is, if it's legs up the wall, you do that. But I do encourage you to cover your body. You have that blanket there, so maybe use it for warmth, or maybe you just put it on your pelvis for grounding. And then those of you that are in Shavasana, I encourage you to notice if you can separate your feet at least hip distance, if not outer hip distance apart. And then really let the legs just flop to whatever their natural rotation is. And then wherever your arms are, notice if they are at rest. So if they're on the body, let them be in such a place where you're not having to hold them there. And if the hands are off the body, do you notice how far you might be able to spread them so that it feels like the collarbones open and the shoulder blades soften? And then notice, does it feel better for the palms to face up? Does it feel better for your palms to face down? Or somewhere in between? Judith Hansel Lassiter likes talking about you being more on the pinky finger. So they're not completely up, they're not completely down. She talks about it, finding the weight on the pinky finger. And then from there, I want you to take 3 big breaths in through the nose and audible exhales out of your mouth. And with every breath in, you allow more space to be created. And with every breath out, you allow more space to be retained. Our practice is really this interesting place where we create more space within ourselves mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, just by showing up. And by showing up and doing the practice, even when it's not mm, always easy or how we would want it to be, we allow more space to be maintained so that we can show up in the rest of our lives, in our relationships, our work, everything else in a more open, centered, grounded place. So, as you're here for these last few moments and these last few breaths, again, you take the big breath in to create space. And as you exhale, you maintain space. You let go of what you don't need to hold on to anymore. I'll go ahead and leave you here with you for a few more moments and a few more breaths, and I'll let you know when it's time to come out. Return your awareness to your breath. As you come back to your breath, just take a moment to check in. Notice if there's any part of you longing to linger in this shape. If there's any part that wishes to stay here, by all means, please do so. When you're ready, you'll extend your right arm alongside your ears, and you'll roll over onto your right side and just hang out there for a couple of breaths. Sarah Hollister says that from a Kundalini perspective, this is a very good side to lay on for a couple of breaths. It's supposed to strengthen our hearts. When you are ready, you'll start to roll your chest towards the floor, press into your top hand, and then draw your spine up to a tall and comfortable seat. When you are vertical, I encourage you to sit on something. And then really to take the time to set yourself up so you feel comfortable, stable, alert, yet relaxed. And as we're here for these last few moments, again, you bring a hand to the heart, a hand to the belly. And as you inhale, you notice the space that's created. And as you exhale, you notice the space that's maintained. We'll complete our practice with a collective breath, followed by a collective Om. Guide your hands to Heart Center Anjali Mudra. Press the palms into each other. Receive the weight of your thumbs into your sternum and press the sternum into the thumbs. Gently exhale all the breath from your mouth. Take a big breath in. Audible breath out. Inhale for Om. Join if you'd like. Draw your thumbs to your third eye. May our thoughts be clear. Draw your thumbs to your lips. May our words be kind. And draw your thumbs to your heart center. May our hearts be open. The light, the breath, the space within me honors and salutes the light, the breath, the space within each of you. Namaste.